Good afternoon, everyone. 2017 Toyota Highlander. Customer's complaint was the headlights were not bright enough, so opted for some driving lights. Got these cheap Chinese vignettes off of Amazon for them, and they do fit into the housing very nice. To get these out, you really don't have to take the whole bumper out, because there's this panel right here that, with a little love and manipulation, you can get the 10 millimeters out, fold it down, and then get your arm up in here. Now, the tough one, there's one clip that is on the very top of the configuration, and they are these style clips. So I was able to reach up there with a really small tipped screwdriver, feel my way through it, lift it up, had it out in about 10 seconds. These little clips right here are really, they hold the light in very securely, so you kind of gotta push it. And there is one other release tab. No, there is not. So you got to kind of push it once you get it out. So on the very bottom of this, there is a 10 millimeter here, a push pin here, and a push pin here that holds this in, and then it just snaps out. The wiring harness that came with this was kind of goofy. As you can see, it has a mile of slack in it. Pretty typical. I ran it across the front, right about there in the harness. The ground and a yellow wire that went to the switch popped out, and you could leave that yellow wire there and then feed it up through here, back, and the easiest grommet to get through is that one. It's real thin, passenger side, clips out, and that's where I ended up going. So you may want to leave your yellow wire there and just feed it up through there. I mounted my relay here, ran to battery power, and then because I had cut the yellow wire because I was planning on going through the driver's side of the firewall, I ran it across the sound insulation and back down. So now the way this is kind of set up is a little goofy, and the instructions are absolutely horrid. So the cool part is the switch does fit right into factory spots, nice and easy. What I ended up doing was, the instructions say to go positive power off of the switch and ground. So instead, I'll pull back a little bit so you can see, and then back in. There's a gray wire that's about a 14 gauge gray wire that is a switched ignition wire. So this way the customer can leave the lights on all the time. Otherwise, if you wired it up the other way, they'd have to remember to shut it off all the time. This way the customer can leave the lights on and be able to have the driving lights come on when they want it. The switch is very, very bright and does not completely shut off when the lights are off. So again, cheap. You can see the difference in the intensity of the on-off light, but they do work. I mean, and this should, I only have one hooked up. This should provide the customer with some better downrange visibility at night. If not, I'll have to try some LED ones in there. This is the extent of the wiring diagram that you get with it, and that's why I'm sharing this with you as to what I did to get this to work. So again, 2017 Highlander, adding cheap Chinese driving lights.